up everyone, I'm the Kaiju no Kami and we are quickly approaching my 5th year anniversary of this channel. As such, I felt it was only fitting to finally review 2019's Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Due to the success of 2014's Godzilla, Warner Bros. Greenlit a new series of shared universe films that became known as the Monsterverse. Sounds like a TNT Monster Marathon presentation. Godzilla was followed up with a prequel tale on King Kong, but the true sequel to the 2014 film was 2019's King of the Monsters, which featured our Titanic lizard, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, along with some creations new to cinema. Unfortunately, the 5-year gap between Godzilla films caused it to suffer immensely at the box office. Which is a real shame because we had a great cast in this movie, such as Kyle Chandler as Mark Russell, who acquired his first Kaiju street cred in Peter Jackson's rendition of King Kong. Mark's wife, Emma, played by the Conjuring universe's Vera Farmiga, with Stranger Things' Millie Brown playing their daughter, Madison. Not to mention Ken Watanabe and Sally Hawkins reprising their roles from the last movie. So how could you go wrong? Well, let's watch to find out. Our film kicks off during the battle in San Francisco in 2014 as the Russell family searches for their son without success. 5 years pass and we get some exposition telling us what has happened in that time.
Demanding that the secretive monster hunting coalition known as Monarch be held accountable.
Oh yeah, because Monarch can so control the behavior of giant frickin' monsters the same way a parent can with their child. Actually that's kind of a bad analogy because there are a lot of parents out there that can't control their kids. Anyway, Emma and Madison are at a Monarch facility in China where one of the monsters, or as they call them, Titans, are being held.
Meet Titanus Mothra, or as we like to call her,
Mothra.
Good to know. I'm sure that's going to be vital information for later on in the movie. Mothra wakes up, goes mad after some soldiers shoot at her and attacks them. Luckily, Emma uses a new communication device that her and Mark had been working on for years called the Orca, which sends out a signal that will trick a Titan into thinking it is before an alpha predator, instantly calming Mothra.
son of a bitch. It worked.
Suddenly, Tywin Lannister and his gang attack the facility and take Emma and Madison hostage. At the same time, Dr. Serizawa, his wife, and their lawyer, the Verizon guy... Wait, the Verizon guy is Monarch's lawyer? You might as well just be represented by Lionel Hutz.
Mr. Simpson, don't you worry. I watched Matlock in a bar last night. The sound wasn't on, but I think I got the gist of it.
Anyway, they are in the middle of a hearing when they learn of the events that have transpired. Amanda Waller gives them a good talking to.
I hope you understand the consequences of walking out that door.
But they storm out of the courtroom to assess their situation.
I'm going to set you up with a very brief and pretty fun documentary on Titan reproduction. I think this is the one where the genitals are blurred out.
That's so stupid. I am directly below the enemy scrotum.
This brings them to Mark, who likes to whisper no matter the situation.
I should have been there for him. Who are they? About 3 years ago. After San Francisco, we went back home to Boston, tried to put the pieces back together.
I want him dead more than anybody, but unless this is a fight that you know that you can win, for God's sake, stand down.
We gotta go after him.
Well, it's just too bad that no one tried to warn you that that was gonna happen.
How long until this thing lands? You told me 5 years ago I'd be trying to save the thing that took my son.
In fact, for the remainder of this review, I am going to call him the Kaiju Whisperer. Serizawa takes him to their Monarch facility in Bermuda where he gets to meet the rest of the pointless staff, like the guy from Get Out and Cabin in the Woods.
That's a baby. After it cocoons, something else is gonna crawl out. Something bigger, meaner.
We don't know that, Rick.
Thank you, Chinese box office. Godzilla appears outside of their oceanic base for some reason.
It was with the light show.
It's an intimidation display.
Consider us very intimidated.
God, you're dumb.
A stare down ensues, and then he leaves. What exactly was the point of that?
All paths have him landing in the same place.
Oh, to lead them to the location of the Lannisters, which is in Antarctica, where Ghidorah sleeps.
Monster Zero.
I stand corrected, where Monster Zero sleeps. even though only big-time Godzilla fans are really gonna give a damn about that name. The Kaiju Whisperer tries to rescue Emma and Madison, only to fail as Emma pulls a trigger to a bomb that releases Ghidorah, Monster Zero, from his slumber. Molly, you're really pushing your luck here. Do not make me call David.
Run.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
That's the second time that line has been spoken in the Arctic. Monarch's military tries to shoot Ghidorah down. Aw, how adorable. Godzilla emerges on the scene to fight the three-headed behemoth. Serizawa's wife abruptly dies. Yeah, Sally Hawkins was probably all like, I'm an Academy Award winner now, so I want out of this franchise. Jets attack Ghidorah and the Kaiju Whisperer gets knocked out. He wakes up sometime later back at the Monarch base, just in time for a call to come in where Emma reveals her true intentions.
I'm saving the world. Humans have been the dominant species for thousands of years, and look what's happened. Overpopulation, pollution, war. We are the infection, the Titans. They are part of the Earth's natural defense system. Wherever the Titans go, life follows. They are the only thing that can reverse the destruction that we started. For that to happen, we must set them free. Using the Orca, we will return to a natural order.
Are you stupid or something? A plan as dumb as that one is never gonna happen.
I couldn't be more sane, and Madison couldn't be stronger.
Like, Jesus, what are you, 5? This sounds like the plot of a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
For too long, humankind has corrupted this planet. Now it is time for others to rule. Witness the dawn of the age of mutations.
See? I told you so.
Think about that. That's just dumb.
Afterwards, Tywin and Emma release the Kraken. Oops. I mean Rodan. After some destruction scenes, Monarch lures them away towards Ghidorah in order to get the duo to fight each other. They do until Godzilla shows up once more. The military reveals they have a newly created missile on the way.
We have been developing a prototype for a new weapon, an oxygen destroyer.
Seriously, you decided to have the military design a missile system based on the most important weapon in the history of the Godzilla franchise off screen? Oh, you have got to be fucking kidding me. You know what? No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. Let's just continue. Yeah, let's just continue on. The Oxygen Destroyer missile hits Ghidorah and Godzilla just after Godzilla bites one of Ghidorah's heads off. Ghidorah flies away, revealing that he is actually a Time Lord.
Violates everything we know about the natural order.
It tells of a great dragon who fell from the stars.
You mean an alien?
Yes, he's not part of our natural order.
God, it's like you just use words you hear randomly to try and sound smarter.
Godzilla, on the other hand, disappears, leaving everyone under the assumption that he is dead. The Kaiju Whisperer is now upset at the death of the creature he has wanted dead for the last 5 years. Yes, this is supposed to be the defining moment of his character development or something? That he has come to learn that Godzilla is necessary? I don't know. This is just friggin' stupid. It's not bad enough that this dude has practically been in charge of Monarch since he came to the Bermuda base. But Jesus frickin' Christ, people. Come on. How is the rest of this entire organization so inept that some new guy has to take it over to do your jobs for you? Back to the film, Ghidorah sets out a roar that wakes up every Titan across the globe, most of which we will know absolutely nothing about because they weren't monsters Legendary and Warner Brothers had to pay royalties to Toho for.
Long live the king.
Mothra wakes up in adult form though, so that's cool, right? In fact, Mothra is the reason Monarch is able to locate Godzilla hiding out in an undersea kingdom.
Are you recording this, Stan? I record everything, man.
Awkward. But, in order to regenerate him quick enough for him to tangle with Ghidorah, they have to hit him with a series of nuclear missiles. Their sub gets damaged.
Of course!
So someone has to go up to the big G to revive him manually, sacrificing themselves. I wonder who it could be. Who wants out of their contract as well? Oh, wait a minute. We have a character named after a character that sacrificed themselves in the original Godzilla film. Oh my god. It's like this movie is just writing itself. Well, that or Warner Brothers and Legendary are just copying someone else's homework. Either way, Serizawa goes boom. I'm not gonna lie though, this next scene is pretty badass. Oh, while all of this is going on, Emma laments her terrible plan to Tywin, expositing a new plan at a baseball stadium near them in Boston that could be used to stop the rampaging Titans.
I could use the stadium to amplify a signal that might stop these attacks.
Madison overhears this plan. So guess what she does? If you said she's gonna steal the Orca to take it to the stadium to implement the plan herself, you are absolutely totally correct. Unfortunately for her, she never thought about how dumb her mom's ideas have been this entire movie, rendering her stunned when Ghidorah shows up outside her window. What did you think was gonna happen? Well, it's a good thing her character shields are turned up to 11. Emma goes after Madison.
Let her go. We have everything we need.
Monarch and Godzilla both show up in Boston for the final battle. Mothra emerges to help, only to find herself in a smackdown with Rodan. It does not end well for either monster. What? Mothra died? Emma and the Kaiju Whisperer are reunited and head to the remains of their old home where they find their daughter and everyone tries to flee the battlefield. Emma decides to pull up Bryan Cranston and drive off with the Orca to lure Ghidorah away, sacrificing herself for the greater good.
The greater good.
In order to hit that last minute toy sale, Godzilla goes orange. Finishing off Ghidorah in the process. A bunch of the nameless Titans and Rodan arrive in Boston and bow. Wait, that's it? That's how the movie ends? Not even a farewell message from our characters or anything to explain what they've learned here? What the f... Oh, wait. Wait. This is a 2019 movie. That means there's a post-credit sequence. Okay, let's see it. There is, which shows us Tywin purchasing the Ghidorah had Godzilla bit off earlier in the film.
We'll take it.
Ah, shit. Godzilla vs. Kong is gonna end up being Batman vs. Superman Kaiju Edition, isn't it? With that said, that was Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Oh. I have a lot of mixed feelings on this film. The characters are very uninspiring, especially when compared to those of the past. I just don't understand why the movies of the 60s could provide us with superior characters and plots when the movies of today should be better at it. The Russell family are extremely bland because none of them are interesting. The only thing that makes me care about Madison is because I've seen Millie Brown in Stranger Things. Had I not had that connection with her there, I wouldn't give a damn about her in this film at all. In fact, that pretty much sums up this whole movie in a nutshell in regards to the characters. I only care about them because I have seen them in something else, like Bradley Whitford was in Get Out and Cabin in the Woods, and the Verizon guy.
But not really.
Game of Thrones and Alien 3, Peter Jackson's King Kong, The Conjuring, and so on. There isn't a single person I'm interested in for who they are in this film. I'm not even sure which is worse. The fact the Kaiju Whisperer ends up pretty much running Monarch because everyone else is too inept to do so, or they keep telling us about Charles Jance's character of Jonah as if he is some major person in this universe, but they never tell us why. We as the audience are just supposed to already know who this character is by osmosis without any sort of explanation or setup as to why he is important. Was he a former member of Monarch? Does he run a company that is a rival against Monarch? If so, what led him to leaving Monarch and establishing his own company? Where did he acquire his skills at? How did he learn about the Titans? Why did he leave some people alive? How does Emma know him? How did she contact him? Who is he? Not only are the characters lifeless, but even the dialogue of this film is utterly dumb. I already talked about Emma's entire plan, but then we have pieces of dialogue like this.
Her and Godzilla, they like symbiotic relationships between two different species aren't all that uncommon.
And this.
I think we should stop.
Why?
Because I still want to have kids one day.
Dude, you're 60. If you don't have kids by now, you're most likely not gonna have any kids at this point. This piece of dialogue should have gone to one of the younger characters like the Verizon guy or something. It makes no sense having a guy his age make a comment like that. It's like the writers decide since Whitford has played characters with strange comedic quips in other movies, it was perfect for his character here despite it going against his characterization. I could go on for hours about how these are some of the weakest characters in the history of the Godzilla franchise, but then I would get comments that people are here for the monsters and not the humans, and then I'm focusing too much on them. Well, I'm sorry if I want a reason to care about my human plot, because why would I want to watch a Godzilla film with shit-tastic human characters when I can rewatch one that has good characters instead? That's my biggest issue. There are 30 plus movies in this franchise, so I'm going to be inclined to watch the movies that are competently made over the ones that are not, and I find King of the Monsters to be incompetently made.
Yeah? Well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
No shit.
However, let's move on to the monsters. They suck. Again, the only reason I care about Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah is because they are Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah. The movie does nothing with these monsters to make them likable beyond their namesake. The movie is so far up its own ass with focusing on the known name critters that the original creations are left to the wayside. The only reason they exist is because Warner Brothers wanted to cram as many monsters into the film as they can to make up for the lack of monster action people whined about with the last movie. There are no backstories for these new creations, and they are irrelevant to the plot other than to have a news report saying all of these monsters woke up and are destroying our cities. Ah! And I guess they are there to make the point that Ghidorah needs to be stopped at all costs or something like that. The only monsters that matter are really Godzilla and Ghidorah, as even Mothra and Rodan do very little. There always has to be some sort of weather effects going on in order to hide the poorly rendered parts of the CGI. Thus, they make up that Ghidorah is able to emit his own thunderstorm around him in order to always have wind blowing, especially during daytime scenes. That's not to say there aren't great visuals, as there are, such as the moment when Ghidorah is emitting electricity in the sky, but for the most part, the brighter the background is, the cleaner the background is, the easier it is to spot the flaws in the effects. This is also why the big climactic battles normally take place during night. Now, I do like the updated designs to both Rodan and Ghidorah as they look quite terrifying. Unfortunately, I am not a fan of the new Mothra design as I don't particularly care for the pincher she has. Plus, nothing new is done with Mothra. She's there for fan service and nothing more. It's pretty insulting to a character who has more solo films and appearances next to Godzilla than any other Toho Kaiju. Not to mention she should have gotten her own film before this Godzilla one. Then again, this entire movie feels like it is several movies crammed into one, as if Warner Brothers decided they could not sell standalone films of other monsters and put them all into this one. King of the Monsters feels more like it should have been the 5th film in the franchise as opposed to the 2nd, and yet it is a half hour too long. There should have been a movie on Mothra, a movie on a new Titan, like maybe the Elephant elegant looking one. Maybe even a movie on the ancient civilization we see the remnants of in this? Something? Anything! But nope, we can't have that because heaven forbid Warner Brothers actually pace a shared universe film franchise properly. Ghidorah being an actual alien entity is a nice callback, so hopefully we will learn more about that in the next film. Hey, here's an idea. How about making it that Jonah is actually an ex-alien? Continuing on, even the editing is all over the place. Getting to see the monster battles from the perspective of men is a pretty neat concept. I loved the scene when the Kaiju Whisperer was darting back and forth trying to avoid getting crushed by everything going on. However, beyond that, the monster clashes are like a cinematic nightmare. They might as well have just been a bunch of shaky cam confrontations as seen in the Bourne franchise. I didn't even realize Sally Hawkins' character had died the first time I watched the film due to how abrupt and poorly edited it was. Many shots leave you pondering if a character just died or not, causing a lot of confusion later when a character you thought did die is standing there in the background alive and well as if nothing happened whatsoever. When you can actually hear over the sound effects, Bear McCreary's musical score is a vast improvement over Desplat's composition from the first film. It is full of classic Godzilla tunes from Akira Ifukube, which will make any Godzilla fan happy. Is pretty damn awesome. I'm sure Ifukube would have been proud to hear his creations played in a big budget Hollywood film. Finally, we are also treated to a remix of the Godzilla song from Blue Oyster Cult. Overall, King of the Monsters is not the worst Godzilla movie ever made. It's not exactly the best, it's more like a middle-of-the-road film with its stupid plot, terrible characterization, dumb dialogue, and horrid editing. The monster designs are cool, so that's something, right? Either way, this one was made specifically for the Kaiju fan and the die-hard Godzilla fan, and no one else. If you do not fall in those categories, you might as well go watch something else instead. Until next time, bye.